Their wisdom is overpowered by a superior wisdom. And it is only in overpowering inferior wisdom by superior wisdom that men cast their crowns down. But as long as men think they know more than those whom God has exalted and whose minds have been lit with his light, then there will always be contention and strife until their wisdom is overpowered. And when their wisdom is overpowered, then they cast their crowns down and signify that you have overpowered me with your wisdom. If the holy wise scientists write history, Bible or Quran, to last for 25,000 years, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, that the circumference of the earth is 24,896 miles. And therefore we write history, Bible or Quran, a year for every mile. So every book called Quran is in a cycle of time of 25,000 years. So when you see a prophet coming, he brings a script, which is a part of a writing that is bigger than what he brings. Prophets don't see the whole picture. They only see the part that God gives them in a scripture, but the whole picture is written in a book called Quran. This is a prototype of it. This is not the whole thing. This starts with Adam and it ends at the opening to the hereafter. Where's the guidance to the hereafter and what was before Adam? It's not in this book. This is a part of the writing. Are you listening? But in your vanity, you glory in a part of the writing because you have not mastered the part. Therefore, you cannot understand that it is a part of a whole that is bigger than itself. Oh, I know it's shaking you up, but you might as well hear it and deal with it. No. In this Quran, there are periods of time that are mentioned. 25,000 years is mentioned. 50,000 years is mentioned as cycles of time. There is a wisdom that guides for time. This book is written in advance of the actual happening. So when it is about to be fulfilled, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, God raises up a prophet from among the people, gives them a scripture as a part of the writing. Moses didn't see the whole thing. Moses saw what God showed him, and he was blessed to see 2,000 years ahead of him. But 2,000 years is a drop in the bucket in the cycle of time. Jesus came with a scripture, a part of the writing. Jesus didn't see the whole thing. He saw what God allowed him to see. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, brought the Quran. He didn't see the whole thing. He saw what Allah wanted him to see. Allah is the controller of sight and hearing. And if he had seen the hereafter, he would have spoken about it. But he was made to say from the Quran, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it even entered into the heart of man to conceive what lies beyond the end of this world. Well, why do the Bible writers in the Bible say, seal up the book and write no more? What power came in on them that they couldn't write anymore, and they were told to seal the book? In their vision, this is the first cycle of time that never lasted or never could be seen beyond the 16,000 years. The writers of this cycle of history didn't see 25,000. They couldn't see. Their light was blinded because they saw the birth of a man coming up whose light was so bright it blotted out their ability to see. And don't you know, when you're in light like this, it enables you to see. Is that right? But there's another light that can be shown on you that is so bright that it blots out this light and then blinds your eyes. So it is with the birth of the Mahdi. When they saw him coming, the light around him was so great they couldn't even see beyond him. So this cycle of history is only limited to 16,000 years, and the last 6,000 years of it is perfectly documented in the Quran, and the Quran leads you right up to the door of the hereafter, but it does not admit you in. Neither does the Bible. The Bible ends with a lamb on Mount Zion with 144,000 singing as it were a new song. They don't even tell you what the song was because they didn't know what it was. All they could say that a new heaven and a new earth was coming. But what will the new heaven look like? They fancied up things. But the reality of it they couldn't see. Well, suppose on a high level, you are a scientist and your wisdom is being interfered with. How will you react? You see, because on the upper level of things, humanity acts the same on another level as we act on the lower level. There are human beings on the upper level who get mastered by their own, the fire of their desires. This may be a little bit much, but take it anyway. Take it anyway. Why do you get the story in the Bible of Lucifer being cast out of heaven? It says there was war in heaven. Well, how would you know where such war was if you were not in heaven? Somebody would have to tell you about that war. If Allah didn't record in the Quran what was going on among the angels, how would you know? So he gives you a peep into some disgruntledness among the angels in the Quran. He gives you a peep into the attitude of Iblis in a heavenly state. And why didn't Iblis want to submit? Iblis said, I'm better than him. That thought that I am better caused them to forget who ordered him to bow down. So the lust, the fire of thinking you're better, that's a fire that can consume your ability to reason. Some of us in this world think we're better because we're white. See? Who are you? You're from Africa? I'm better than you. Why are you better? I'm from Europe. I'm an American white man. That's a fire that consumes and destroys your ability to reason. So when some black person comes up out of the norm of what your mind has perceived that you are better than, it blows your mind. You can't deal with it. So if you can't deal with him, then you have to destroy him, because to destroy him keeps you sane. But if you can't destroy him, you lose all control. That's what's wrong with Reagan now. That's what's wrong with white folks now. That's what's wrong with Jews right now. A black man came up. They said, oh, just another nigga. What's his name? Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan. Who does that nigga think he is? We've knocked down mighty men before him. Who does he think he is? We'll give him a blast of our power. So when they blasted, and it wasn't in God's plan that I dry up and blow away, they backed up and said, good God, maybe we didn't use it right. Let's heat it up more and blast him again. And when they blasted me the second time, the crowds got bigger and bigger. They said, good God, there's something we can't deal with. So you begin to see them acting like insane people, because Farrakhan is out of the norm of the black people that they deal with. or the Arab that they deal with. It's something about the man and who made him that's frightening them. And the more I exist, I drive them crazy because I'm out of the norm. I'm out of the way that you can handle me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not only am I out of the norm for Jews, I'm out of the norm for black leaders. So the black leaders have always understood how to deal with another black leader until Elijah Muhammad came along. When Elijah Muhammad came along, they said, we don't know how to handle him. And they thought when he departed from us, it was all over, they could take the show. But now a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has come up and challenged their master that all the black leaders bow down to. And they don't know how I'm standing. So their minds are going crazy. They're set on fire now with envy and jealousy because they can't understand a man seeking refuge in God. They don't know when a man puts on the whole armor of God, there is no power in the heavens above or in the earth beneath that can handle that kind of man. All of us can be handled. There's none of us too wise to be handled by that crooked deceiver that has power today. But if you take refuge in God and submit yourself to Him and bow down to Him and shun that which is vain, then you've got power to move. You're in the world, but you're not of it. And the world can't handle you anymore. Some of the Muslims who have watched me grow up in the Nation of Islam, they actually think that Farrakhan is saying that he's God. How stupid can you be? Some of the Muslims look at me with a jaundiced eye, really a jealous eye, and an envious heart, wondering how is this student of Elijah Muhammad now doing what his father did. He speaks with authority. That don't mean that he's the power. He speaks with authority because he believes what he's saying, and power backs up what he says. Don't get hot with me because I'm not afraid of white folks. Don't get angry with me because I don't think Reagan got no power to deal with me. Don't get angry with me. Find out what God that I have sought refuge in, and I would advise you to flee to Him as I am fleeing to Him as fast as I can, because Reagan is absolutely going crazy and the plot thickens, and soon they will make their move. Look, what I'm saying, when you come into this kind of light, there are forces that do not want you to succeed. The Bible puts it to you in many different little parables you should be aware of. Some of you come to this little simple place and you hear a word and you believe that the word is right, and you've been looking for it all your life. And between Sunday and Wednesday, somebody has taken the word right out of your heart because you didn't know how to defend the joy that you received from what you heard. You shared it with somebody whose misunderstanding or hatred or envy or evil you couldn't contend with. And on a lower level, they just took the light right out of your heart. So we don't see you for another month or two. And, you know, you pass by one day and say, I think I'll run in and see what the boy talking about. That's just on a little simple level. Then you get up on another level. You come in one city, a highly placed person said that they thought well of Farrakhan, and the FBI visited them the next day. trying to frighten them away from even thinking something good about a man that they're getting ready to do their evil to. But from what I understand, the man held his position. FBI working. But then there's another level. There are spiritual people who claim to be people of God. If you come into a truth that they didn't teach you, instead of them following you to learn more of what has excited you, they try to destroy that in your heart by saying it must be of Satan. That Farrakhan is a clever talker. He's an eloquent devil. I am eloquent. I can't help that. But devil? No, sir. You mean to tell me that they have been teaching you all your life, and you come here in one day and eloquence shakes the foundation of what you believe? No. Truth shook the foundation of falsehood. And falsehood is forever a vanishing thing. You cannot build your world on falsehood. Jesus said, no man wanting to build a house will build it on sand. You build your house on a firm foundation. So, beloved, Muslims, Christians, believers in God, be careful. Be careful. Because the opponents are so wickedly wise. Listen, you go to a clinic, they see you're a Muslim. If they would put dope on the children, because the children they cannot control. They know our young people are smarter than their elders. Sorry about that, mama. The babies that you are producing are wonderful. They appear rebellious because they don't want to feed from your knowledge that it comes from their enemy and yours. They want a knowledge that will satisfy their longings for God. Listen now. So the children, white folks see we can't control them. Neither the young black girls nor the young black boys. How can I get to them? I'll put drugs in their community. I'll take their desire for elevation. Look at this. That's all it is. It's a human desire to get higher. It's in your nature to climb up to God. So here the man said, do you want to get high? Of course I do. I don't want to get low. My nature tells me that I came from the earth and I must stretch toward heaven. So if you tell me, do I want to get high, I will automatically say yes. But get high, how? Then somebody comes in between your natural desire for elevation and gives you drugs. You understand? You have a need for pleasure. We black people live in a world where there is no pleasure in the fulfillment of creative ideas. Our ideas die right here in our brain. So if you want pleasure, you find it in the organs of sex. So he disrobes the woman and titillates the sexual hunger in man and woman. So we're like raging furnaces walking down the street looking for who we can devour, consume with the passion of our lust. You hear what I'm saying? This is how they're controlling that which they cannot control through religion, politics, control you with drugs. Well now, if they will kill your babies to control your future, what will they do to those of us who can see in this world how to get out of it? I grew up under Malcolm X. Malcolm was my first teacher. I knew him and loved him as a father or as a big brother. He was the strongest man that I had ever met until I met, of course, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his teacher. Malcolm was strong. Malcolm was disciplined. Malcolm was bright. Malcolm was powerful. But Malcolm was young in the knowledge of God. He had frightened white people. He shook up America. And all the time that Malcolm was preaching, white folk were planning his demise. How can I get him? How can I trap him? What weaknesses does he have